In my first year and a half of game development, I worked on a side scroller. I called it Mud Wizard. The project became a wild beast of esoteric and ambitious features, so I started what would become a series of side projects. One of those was a game called Lenore Red's Magic Cookbook. It's nothing special, or at least that's how I see it. Moving values from container to mixing them together. I forgot what wild hair gave me the idea, but I just redid everything the same way I learned in Mud Wizard. The same method of moving inventory items through parents. The project was definitely beyond my skill level at the time, but I never could just want to make a regular ass game. I worked on Lenora for about 2 to 3 months before just abandoning it. On my phone, while at work, I sometimes use an app called Pixel Studio. On it, I have a folder titled Cancelled. It's mostly ideas that I never got around to, or really planned out a whole lot, mostly just a few sprites, maybe a Google Doc. Here, while sorting through the mess of files, I'm always very bad about that, I placed Lenora. Now, besides Mud Wizard, Lenora was the longest game I just straight out abandoned. I always planned to go back to Mud Wizard, but Lenora was just a game that I worked on the longest and to abandon. Why was it something that I put so much work and passion into, and I just gave up on it? It had a very personal story to me. The main character was learning to bake to get in touch with their disappeared relatives. While I'm not a magic little girl, I don't have the best relationship with my parents. There was going to be an aunt character that didn't really approve of the main character's baking, and that kind of reminded me of what it was like being in high school and college. And despite all this, I just shelved it. I put it in a folder with the rest of the stuff I'll probably never have time to go back to. Archived, probably to be lost like so many half-finished D&D campaigns and books. You never know when the last time you work on something is ever going to be, when the last time you ever play a game. Will I ever come back? Have I played my last round of World of Warcraft? Burnout. It's always burnout, most of the time. In Lenore's case, it was the measuring cup system. When I started out, I barely knew what I was doing, and it didn't always work out right. Things would just disappear, measurements wouldn't work right, stuff wouldn't work as intended. Not getting something to work is frustrating. Usually an hour or two of Satisfactory or whatever sandbox game I'm into at the time usually fixes that. But not after days of this frustration. Not after weeks. Not after a 10-hour shift in a job I hate in a world I hate. Why do I keep coming back to this hobby? This frustrating math problem that most of the time doesn't even have a clear ending to it. It's just something I work on for months with no clear results. I mean, I get burned out on a lot of stuff. I got burned out on playing Dungeons and Dragons. I got burned out on writing fiction and video production and coding, just like D&D tools. Why can't I ever finish anything? Why do I always burn out on everything? I got the idea to come back to Lenora around the same time I was asked to do this. I was working on a procedurally generated overhead game, and I just wanted to give myself a break, so I didn't burn out on that as well. So I went back to Lenora. I redid the whole measuring cup system from the ground up, and it actually works this time. I'm probably gonna put it shelved again, at least for a while. I still don't enjoy doing data entry, and putting in a lot of recipes doesn't really sound fun right now, so I'll probably spend the rest of the year working on my overhead game. I do enjoy game development. I mean, why would I keep doing it if I didn't? Sometimes it's not about finishing a product or making it marketable. It's about finding something that you like to do and just putting one foot and forward and just keep on going.